Had an interesting day today. We were feeding a halyard down the mast, main halyard down the mast, mainly because the mast went up and it wasn't noticed that the halyard wasn't fitted at that particular time. And it was really good. We used a cherry picker to get to the top of the mast, which was very helpful. And then it dawned on me that you know, I drop halyards down the mast, and it's a fairly simple process, and I've done it quite a few times. But then the person I was with had some difficulty in terms of how you connect up, and he had some brilliant ideas of how to collect the rope once it gets down to the bottom of the mast, because that's always the difficult bit. You can feed a thin rope down, but how do you get it out? And that was done quite easily. In fact, we did that in seconds. Literally, it was well less than a minute, putting the weight in and then dropping it down the mast and then pulling it out at the bottom. And I'm sure the person, Andy, will do a video on that and show how it's done. Basically, this is what we did. We used a weight, fairly heavy weight, on a really tough piece of string, twine you can get, and ripping twine, or in fact what we'd also do is strong strength fishing line. We dropped that down the mast, dead simple, and then literally we had Andy's idea was to have of using a cable tie, which is excellent, and literally you just put that in the slot you want the halyard to come out of, drop this down the mast. As you can see, when you push it through, it's thin. Once you drop it through, it opens out, and so we're able to just drop that down the mast and straight into it, and then just pull it out. Dead simple, very effective, very quick. I used to do it using a hook, a tightly curled hook, but then you'd be fishing around for the cable itself, and you know that would often take some time. But it wasn't, you know, you'd do it, but that was the most efficient way I've noticed. I have heard people talk about other systems as well, but that we really found that effective today. The next bit is the complicated bit, because once you've used a thin wire rope or twine to pull it down with, then you've got to attach that to the actual halyard itself. A lot of people have many different ways. I used to stitch mine. A lot of people recommend stapling them together. Others talk about wrapping them around. The way I've found really effective, and it is really effective, get your halyard, split it open, take a piece off. So just take a length off the inner core. Once you've got the core out, literally all you need to do then is put your cloverage. I'll get this right in the camera. Round there. We can do 2 half turns. And cloverage. And the line. Main thing is to pull that tight. Make sure that's tight on the inner core, and then literally pull the outer core over that. So the inner core now goes onto the inside. That will leave you with a nice tapered edge, and then just put 2 loops over the top or more if you want to be absolutely sure. 2 loops, in a clove hitch again, and then that's it. You can pull that through now. Obviously this can be neat when you finish, but the main thing is if you want it really tidy, just cut off the loose ends really. Make sure you don't cut off the inner core rope. But even then, that's going to be strong enough now to hoist up the mast, because it's always under tension, and then drop down the mast. Just on the topic of that, we were thinking about, you know, okay, what happens if you're out, your boat's on the water, you can't get a cherry picker up to the top of the mast, and you can't get ladders up, and you suddenly realise you haven't got your halyards up. What on earth do you do? Because you'll have, hopefully, at least one rope up there. And what we were saying is, you know, what are the alternatives if you're on the water? And we did think that one of the things you could have done, and it would take some blocks, but is use your top and lift. And it would be a temporary solution, but it would be enough to get you out and about, is use your chop and lift to put a block on. You'd only need 2. It could be 2 loose ones or one like that, a twin one. I've only got a triple one at the moment. But you pull that up using your chop and lift, and then from there you would attach, obviously, one for your top and lift, and one for your main halyard. And so you'd have the 2 ropes that you need to be able to control your sail and your boom. Temporary solution, but would work. The only thing you would have to be careful about is the length here, because what you don't want is your mainsail coming up to here and it's not being high enough up the mast. So that's the only thing you would need to check out. But maybe you'd have to sail with a reef in it, or, you know, find a way to drop the sail a bit and tie that off. But, you know, again, temporary solution, but hopefully would work.